Good afternoon, Kia ora, Global Azure 2025 Auckland community. I'm Intikhab Alam, lead data and DevOps engineer with 14 years of experience in the infrastructure as code and SharePoint. Okay, and I'm currently working in the TMNZ. Uh, like as mentioned by Murray, Luke, we all are using the SharePoint in one or another way. Okay, so the documents management can be a nightmare. Okay, and we ourselves also faced kind of a few hurdles in day-to-day life when we are managing the large amount of the documentations. Okay, and today we will explore SharePoint Embedded, which is an headless API-driven platform that's transforming how we manage the documents. So whenever it comes to the SharePoint, it looks like that if we want to put something on there, we need to have a one SharePoint site, and then we need to do this SharePoint management. Okay, then it comes to the kind of the its own learning. But the SharePoint embedded by the Microsoft, it's an headless API-driven platform. Okay, and today I'm going to share some practical tips how we can deploy it and how we can utilize it, and some deployment issues which we were facing while doing it first time. And I will show you that how to make it, how you can use it in your apps. Let's dive into my um, the next slides. Okay, so I will start with saying that the content is the lifeblood of every enterprise and app. Okay, but today it's bleeding out. Why I'm saying is that managing this content is a bit hard, but in the time of the era when we are using these large language modules, okay, to deploy and go through the AI and have our own new implementations around it. Okay, the documents, word files, PDFs, you name it. The it actually powers the our business, but they are scattered across the line of the business apps. So if you can see this one, that we have a one app, or and this is a using this organizational based documents. Okay, either there's a small enterprise or a big company. Okay, they are putting that apps in the file system. Okay, and one of the easiest way to go online is to use the SharePoint or OneDrive. The fragmentation creates chaos, security vulnerabilities, compliance nightmares, and collaboration breakdowns. In my work, I have seen teams struggle with silo files, wasting hours of manual fixing. Okay. SharePoint Embedded offers a unified API-driven platform to bring it all together, ensuring security, consistency, and efficiency. So let's me explain what is SharePoint Embedded and how does it solves this. Let's find out. So the SharePoint Embedded is an, as I mentioned before, there's a no website required in the SharePoint. So we are going to have some infrastructure which is going to have all the files in the SharePoint, but it's not under the SharePoint website. So it is using the SharePoint premium stuff. Okay. It is a, it is a file storage container which is secure. Tenant is isolated documents and libraries. It is powered by the Microsoft Graph APIs for app integration. So all the stuff which we do on the Air Graph API can be done on this SharePoint also. So we are putting all the documents there which can be used as an APIs. Why it matters now? Because it unifies the fragmented content across the enterprise apps, robust security with Microsoft Pureview and isolated containers. It is AI ready for Copilot and advanced workflows. I'm going to show you today two ways how we can develop that containers which actually going to contain or going to have or store all the documents. So there are two ways, as I mentioned, that there's one way is through the VS Code. I will explain to you what is a code extension which is provided by the Microsoft, and it is a container-based stuff. So it is going to we are going to create an free trial-free container, and then we will have an app registration with it. This app registration is being used to access all the files from there, and then I'm going to show you that how you can use it there. Let me start with the VS Code. Okay, so if we go to the VS Code and the extensions, we can find here the SharePoint Embedded. So then we will install the SharePoint Embedded. This is the built-in extension provided by the Microsoft. Now it is installed. As soon as it is installed, now we can see there's a new tab here. We select on it, and it is going to log in. So I have my own subscription. Okay, using with my credentials, it find it out. It's login. Okay, and then if you see here on the next tab, here we can create this free trial container type. I click on this one. It is going to ask me the name. So what's the name of the? So let's say Global Azure Conference 2025. Okay. Now it is asking me the app registration. So this app registration is being used for all the communication between the SharePoint and the website, or whenever you are going to access it. So I'm going to say the same SharePoint embedded app. It goes me to okay. Let's do that one also. It asks me the application name and the trial container name, and then it created it. So if you see this one, now it creates that container. Let me show you how we can see that container. Okay, and where actually that container exists. Okay, so if we go to our SharePoint admin site, so this is my SharePoint admin site. Here, if you see, we because I just freshly deployed it. Okay, there's nothing available, no sites are there. And then if we go, here's a new tab we have now, which is mentioned as the containers. So in the containers, it is going to show us the deleted containers also, and then the active containers. Right now, we just created the container type, nothing else. So, and this app registration. So if I go to the my Azure Entra in the Entra ID in the app registrations, you will be able to see that app registration here, which is called the SharePoint Embedded app. As I mentioned before, this app needs some kind of the privileges and some uh, all this API app roles, okay, which are going uh, as here the API permissions. So it needs some API permissions to extract that information, okay, from the uh, SharePoint. So bring back to the point. Now we have the container, trial container, and the app. I'm going to now create. I'm going to register it. This container. So it is going to ask me the consent. So this consent I'm giving the permissions to this uh, so that it can be used. Okay, it's done. And if I refresh it, register local container. So now I'm registering this container with my local tenant. So this is the tenant which we have. It's registered it. As soon as it is registered, it allows us to create that containers where we our all the documents will be available. So if we click on this, okay, this is the now it is allowing me to how to create this one. If I click this one or the container, this is the okay. I will say that uh, global SEO container. Previously, when Microsoft started this one, this all were the kind of the manual steps. We need to do it through the Postman and other things. But now this with this extension, we can do all the steps by ourselves. So now the container exists. If I go back to the uh, our SharePoint, here there was no container available before. Now if I refresh it, you will be able to see the container. Okay. And if you see this one, the container, and it has all the memberships we can provide, everything. So the thing is this that this container available, but there's no it's not associated with any site. So we are there's no need to manage any sites. It's only the infrastructure which is there. This can be used by your apps or the websites to upload the stuff of the all the PDFs and documents in that one, and then that can be used. Okay, yeah, this one. And so we can create this container from here, and if we delete it from this one, so because this is the free trial container, it has a validity of 30 days. After 30 days, it is going to be deleted by itself. So all the documents which are going to be uploaded in it, or by if this is being used by any kind of the application, it will be recycled. Okay, automatically, it is not going to ask you about this one. So if I click on this recycle from here, it's just to be safer side on the deletion, it is doing the same purging uh, kind of the work. So here, if it is deleted, it is going to the uh, recycle containers, and which is the similar one way. If we select it here, now it is in the deleted one, and we delete from the permanently here, it is going to wipe out everything from there. And that's the same thing is going to happen from here. So this is the way how we can deploy that container through the SharePoint Embedded extension. We have a, a recruitment site, okay, with the code, and that I'm going to show you that what we would need to the infrastructure items we need to deploy that one on that container. So I have this Git action pipeline, which I have build up for this one. I will show you. Let me show you this pipeline in the Git. So this pipeline, I have worked with the one of the Microsoft person, okay, Mark, okay, and which the requirement of this pipeline was okay that we should build up a pipeline which deploy all the infrastructure for these containerized websites without it's like putting anything more than required stuff. So this pipeline is being using only few variables. These are the only variables. So in this one, we are giving this the subscription ID, tenant ID, and the SharePoint admin URL, which is being used this pipeline and to deploy the infrastructure. So this is going to be deployed on the Azure Study Web App with and using the Azure Study Web functions. And it is also going to deploy the app registration, which we saw before. It's being using the app registration, the extension. So if I deploy this one, this is an public repository, so anyone can go and have this code and utilize for themselves. So if I deploy it, as I said before, that because it needs to create a kind of the infrastructure which is required the higher privileges. So for this one, I use the AZ login with the confirmations, okay, so that you can give the credentials by yourself, and it is going to deploy all this stuff. So if we go to this deployment, it is first going to perform some installations, so we which are required to get the information from app registrations, like the certificate and secrets, okay, and then also doing this some PowerShell, PNP, and other commands for creating the containers. Okay, so it is now deploying. It's a module which is deploying it. In the meantime, I can show you the actual code in the app, which is bit interesting, because if you see, these are the all the jQuery query and other stuff is been installed by itself first, okay. Then we are actually extracting the variables from this parameter file. So this parameter file have all the information. So let's say you want to create the app and the infrastructure with a different name, you can just provide it. Here is a repo name because it's static web app, we want to deploy it, so we have to give this repository URL. Once it is doing that task, in the meantime, let's see here what is going here. So it's doing logging, and now it is checking if there's any resources available. If I go back and in the resource group, in the meantime, so there is, okay, let me log in again. So now the app created this resource group, SPE demo GRP, and it start deploying the static web app. So here, if we see in the code, it start deploying this stuff. And soon for this one, static creating the service principal, container types, and credentials, it is going to ask to give the permissions for login. So I have used this device login where it is going to ask me, okay, to provide the consent so that it can create the app registration. I'm going here. This is the code. So if you see here, in the meantime, we'll see this is the we have a container. If I see here, so it is going to give me the properties. So these are the values are being used. One of the value is here is this one, the container type ID. I forget to change this one in the code. This one is we need to be changed here. And then, hmm, dash, okay. In the meantime, as I mentioned that, so what it did, it has now created the app registrations and getting all the information. In the meantime, if we go and check in the app registrations, so now before this one there, now it's one more. Okay. So this is created, the SP demo app registration is being created there. And now it is asking me again login to do the next step. So it was one of the instructions while we were doing this project. with Microsoft that it should do everything, okay, with the right privileges. Okay, right now I'm using the everything from one single user. Okay, that's why it's I'm just using the all my credentials. Now if you see this one, what it is doing, it is setting up some variables and now doing this credential. This is the third time, this is the last time I need to give this. And okay, it is going now, it is going to compile the code which we for the website which we have it, and it is going to do it, and then it is going to deploy first the front end and the back end, which we will be able to see soon on uh, the app, the, this app which we have just installed it. Okay, this is the study web app, and this study web app is being created through the code. In the meantime, I think it's better to explain this one also. If you see this one, the SharePoint Embedded, sorry, the GitHub deployment app, this is the app which I created so that the Git action can be deployed. So I use the federated credentials. Okay, sorry for this noise. Okay, so I use this federated credential. Okay, which if you see this one, it's in my repo and name and then all the information so that the main can be deployed. And if I go here, it's still going on in the meantime. So first I did is this the install the dependencies and then the build the front end and deployed, and then the install the dependency and build the back end and deployed. And now we are updating the study web app and deployment. There are some warning, and but this error is not going to do anything. And it the code has some functions also, and the site, okay, Node.js site, which is going to be used by this study web app. So as I was explaining, so it uh, just 1 second.
Got 3 minutes left too, just an FYI.
And in this one, if you see this is the app registration being created. Okay, so this app, and it has now the, if you see the secret, sorry, the certificate and the registration of this certificate, and then the all this API permissions, okay, and exposing this API permissions and the scopes. So all this stuff has been done through the pipeline. And in this pipeline, which is, as I said, is a public pipeline, it contains all this the coding, which steps you can perform. Now the pipeline deployment is complete, and here it is saying the congratulations. Now the app is deployed. So and we have this website. Okay, so as I mentioned that this is the website which we have for an HR, which the with the intention is that the HR people can upload the all the jobs there, and then the in the jobs we will have the job descriptions which can be utilized by the job seekers. And coming back to the point, this is done. Here, if we go the sign in, So it is going to be sign in to my container, and it is going to ask my consent. Okay, if I click on this, so it is signed in. Let me sign in again. Yes, so it is sign in. Now we are there. Okay, it has limited functionality. Okay, so we can register the container. We can create the job posting. So if I see, so first of all, as I mentioned, that we need to do the admin consent. Okay, which we did it. It means that we are giving this rights to this app to be use the our interact with our static web app and the SharePoint. So in the SharePoint, we have this the containers.
We're at time, but is there anything else that you want to sort of finish with? Like this is really interesting, and my mind boggles at how ISVs can use this capability. So it's really great. But
Okay. The most of the thing was okay how we can deploy it through the
Mhm.
code instead of doing it by because doing with the static sorry the VS code. Okay, so let's see. I just want to go back to my slide. So we have explained to you that okay in the VS code how we can have the extension. Okay, how we can create the trial free container. Okay, and what's the validity of that container? How much time it can take, and then how in the Git action also that's it can be deployed on the static web app. Okay, and then the app registration and privileges, all things are going to be done through the Git action. So there are, although this is a kind of a new stuff which is going on and it just come up, but the Git action and the Azure PowerShell combination can be used, okay, to have it deployed. So it's from a personal to the enterprise section. Okay, we all things can be utilized. It. Give me a second. Sorry.
That's all good.
Uh,
Awesome.
yes. So this was the thing here. As I explained before, the code is available on the GitHub. Okay, this is public library. You can take the check or consent with the pipeline or the actual code which we use for the website, and then we can go from there.
Cool. Thank you for coming and presenting on that capability. I didn't know it existed, so I found a Microsoft Learn module that I'll go through later and figure it out. But thank you for coming and taking the time and presenting to us today. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity also.